What's going on, Moon Gang? I hope that you're having a good one. The market just closed today, Thursday, May 20th, and AMC closed out the day at 12.55, which was a small drop of 0.71%, and GME closed out the day at 170.49, which was a gain of 0.98%. Now, before I hop into the meat of this video where I go over the Ortex numbers and the technicals, there's a couple things we need to discuss. So right now, one of the hot topics, especially in the AMC community, is the AMC share recount. Now, if you want the specific details about what's going on with that, I highly recommend you check out TradeTrade's most recent post about it. But from a high-level view, at least to my understanding, as Adam Aaron and the AMC leadership team get more and more information about the share recount from early June until kind of late July when we have that shareholder meeting, as they get verified information, they will be giving it to us. But like I said, if you want the details about what's going on with that share recount, check out Trade's most recent video. And potentially more important than just specifically the share recount, over the past couple of days, there has been a clear and obvious uptick in the infighting within the ape community. I get it, kind of looking back on it now, that failed breakout above 1450, it hurt a lot of people's spirits. It hurt a lot of ape spirits, and I get it. I'm right there with you. It sucked. We wanted that clear breakout and just a rip to the absolute moon. But you have to understand, this is no simple battle. We are not in a simple war. You have to respect our opponent. And with that, when there's so much infighting within this community, who do you think is actually winning from that? I've made a video like this previously, but we really, you got to understand that sometimes if you disagree with another ape, it's way better to have a civil conversation and agree to disagree. But like this attacking we're seeing, in the end, it will hurt this community and it's gonna hurt this movement. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, is the energy truly worth it to fight with another ape? Is that worth it? Because at the end, I personally believe that it's bringing the movement and the community down. And I get why it's happening. I myself am discouraged that we didn't get that breakout. But as I'm about to explain in the remainder of this video, I think there's a lot of things that are still trending in our direction, and I'm going to be taking a look at the data, and hopefully you can see some of the things that I'm personally like hanging my hat on. So let's hop right into it. Before that, just so you know, from an overall view, the S&P 500, very nice bounce off of 405, pretty much the 50-day simple moving average. Got rejected at this trend line. I am looking for this continuation. My first target is 417.50 and then follow that by 420. But overall, I think the bulls are in the control of the overall S&P 500, the overall stock market, which is good because that's kind of like a barometer of sorts. Tailwinds, headwinds for our individual stocks. Let me quickly give you the numbers on GME. So to start today off, the utilization was 62.49%. And throughout the day, really, there was a net borrow against GME of 154,000 shares. So when you take that into account, that means that the shares on loan probably around 14.2 million. And right now, the current short interest based on the free float is 22.11%. And also, just for those of you who are curious, based on the average daily volume over the past 2 weeks, the days to cover is 2.53 days. Now let's switch it up to AMC. To start today off, the utilization was 97.24%. The return shares was 12.4 million. The borrowed shares was 7.25 million. And the borrow change was a net return of 5 million shares. When you take that into account, the shares on loan probably around 121 million. And as of now, the current short interest estimate based on the free float is 14.63%. And like I said about GameStop, the days to cover is basically a day. So one of the pieces of data I really wanted to bring to your attention right now is I got this question a lot in the stream, basically just talking about the squeeze. Is it still on? Is it still possible? So to make this very clear, is the squeeze still possible? Yes. Am I guaranteeing anything? Absolutely not. I'm not a financial advisor. And more importantly than that, I am not a fortune teller. But here's something I want to point out to you. So way back when on Wednesday, January 27th, AMC hit $20. At that moment in time, the short interest was 12.8% and the shares on loan was 83.6 million. Then I want to point out this mid-March move, when we went up to $14, the estimated short interest was 6.77%, the shares on loan was 58 million. Fast forward to now, coming back to this question of, is this AMC squeeze still possible? We'll look at the numbers. The estimated short interest is 15% and the shares on loan is 125 million. So I get it, we're trading just above $12, but the numbers of how many shorts are possibly going to be trapped when the stock starts trending upward, it's higher than not only when we hit 14, the mid 14s, but it's higher than when we hit 20, folks. The data, the magnitude, the sheer size of the people betting against AMC that will be trapped if they don't get out soon when the stock starts to upswing, clearly right here, the magnitude is going to be higher. Obviously, recently, we're starting to trend down. We saw at the end of last week, the start of this week, some of the shorts did cover, but the clear magnitude of it is still higher than this $14.50 and the $20 run. So in terms of data, right there's some hard facts for you to hang your hat on. From more of a technical situation, let's check out AMC's daily chart. The thing I want to bring to your attention here, I discussed this a little bit previously, but this run up in mid-March and the run up at the end of January, early February, at that point, AMC was a very different company. We had to worry about share dilution. At this point, to right now, why is this current run different than this one? AMC is a fundamentally stronger business. They have about $1.3 to $1.4 billion in liquidity, the most money in the entire history of AMC that they've ever had in liquidity. Beyond that, in June, there's some very, very popular movies coming out. Also in July, the world is opening back up. More and more people are getting shots. Fundamentally, compared to the start of June all the way up until now, AMC is the strongest business it's been. So from a fundamental perspective, AMC is the strongest it's been pretty much all year. The magnitude of the data in terms of the short interest numbers, shares on loan, still of a high level where obviously a lot of shorts can still get trapped. And from here, from a technical perspective, we had this rejection at 12.22. Over the past 2 days, we are forming a support at 12. We formed the support and then on the trip back up, that's a perfect cup and handle. If you crack open any technical analysis book, you have this one big U followed by the next smaller U. That third attempt is usually a breakout. Like I said, I have to clarify, I use that word usually because there's a counterexample to any technical pattern you could possibly find. But right there, if you're a betting person, you might as well bet on that breakout because the odds are in your favor. So fundamentally, technically, and in terms of the data, we're sitting pretty good if you're an ape in AMC. I just want to be very, very clear about that. Upon this breakout above 14.50, I'll then be watching this high, 16, followed by 16.50, then followed by 17.25. Just some of the short-term technical levels I'll personally be paying attention to. In terms of GameStop, we have been coasting up on this, the bottom line of this wedge. We had a nice 6-day movement, and now we're hanging on this wedge. On more of a miniature scale, I would say that we are still in kind of this cup, maybe forming a smaller cup and handle in reference to AMC. So I like to see this breakout above 188, and then I want to see how GME reacts to the $200 price level, and past that, I'll be watching the top of this wedge. So overall, that's the update I have for you. I would love to get your thoughts on both AMC and GME in a comment below. And beyond that, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you could help me out with all that good YouTube stuff, leaving a comment, dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button to join up to the Moon Gang. All that type of engagement really helps me out with that YouTube algorithm. And until I catch you next time, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.